wanted to shop in Spain without pointing at random clothes like this? Today you'll learn real clothes vocabulary in Spanish the fun way, from jackets to shoes to hats. By the end of this video, you'll sound smarter than most tourists.
I am so thrilled to have you here today. So, if you've been building up your Spanish vocabulary, you've probably reached that super exciting point where you just want to start putting it all together. You don't just want to point and say, shirt. You want to say, look at that incredibly stylish green shirt. Today, we're going to unlock the secret to doing exactly that. We're zeroing in on the really fascinating ways Spanish weaves clothing and colors together. It's kind of like a matching game. But hey, before we start painting our Spanish sentences with all these vibrant colors, let's think about a little grammatical mystery. Have you ever wondered why a black jacket is a chaqueta negra, ending with an A, but black shoes are zapatos negros, ending with os? The color is black in both cases, right? So why on earth does the word completely change its shape? Well, that is the exact mystery we are going to solve today. Here's our roadmap to figure this all out. 1. Essential clothing vocabulary. 2. Verbs to wear. 3. A masterclass on gender agreement rules. 4. Matching plurals and colors. And 5. Real-world Spanish practice. Let's jump right in. Section 1. Essential clothing vocabulary, or los básicos del armario. Now, what's actually really interesting here is our foundational word itself, la ropa. You see, in English, we almost always use the plural form. We say, I need to wash my clothes. Because of that ingrained habit, English speakers learning Spanish often try to say las ropas with an S tagged on the end. But in Spanish, la ropa simply means clothing. In a broad general sense, it's a singular concept. So scratch that S. It is always, always just la ropa. All right, let's break la ropa down into some specific items. In Spanish, every single noun has a grammatical gender. It's either masculine or feminine. Let's tackle the masculine items first. You can spot these because they use the words el or los. We have el pantalón for pants. And notice how, while we say a pair of pants in English, Spanish often just uses the singular, el pantalón. Pretty cool, right? Then we've got el traje for a suit, el abrigo for a coat, and el cinturón for a belt. Moving to our plural masculine items, mostly things for our feet, we have los zapatos for shoes, los calcetines for socks, and los tenis for tennis shoes. Okay, let's slide over to the other side of the closet and look at our feminine items, which are signaled by the word la. For tops, we have la camisa for a button-up shirt, la camiseta for a t-shirt, and la blusa for a blouse. For bottoms, there's la falda, meaning a skirt. Outerwear gives us la chaqueta for a jacket. For accessories, a cap, like you'd wear to a baseball game, is la gorra. And finally, a standard tie is la corbata. Actually, a quick bonus fact for you. If you want to be extra fancy and wear a bow tie, that's actually a totally different word, un lazo. But for your everyday standard ties, just stick with la corbata. Section 2. Verbs to wear. Usar y llevar. So before we can talk about the colors of our clothes, we need to know how to say we're actually wearing them. The crucial thing to know is that Spanish gives you two incredibly common options here, and the one you'll hear honestly just depends on the specific region or dialect of the person speaking. First up, we have the verb usar. Literally translated, this means to use, but in the context of clothing, saying yo uso totally means I wear. Second, we have llevar. This literally translates to carry or to bring, but again, context is everything here. Saying yo llevo is another perfectly natural, everyday way to say I wear. Honestly, both are fantastic R verbs to keep in your back pocket. Section 3. Masterclass on gender agreement rules. The chameleon colors. Okay, before we get to the whole chameleon thing, we have to fundamentally shift how our brains order words. In English, we always put the descriptive color before the noun, right? We say, a green shirt. The color arrives before you even have a clue what the object actually is. But Spanish structure prioritizes the object itself. The word order is noun, then color. You absolutely must establish what the object is first, and only then do you get to paint it. So, a green shirt becomes una camisa verde. Stating the noun first is literally the foundation for the gender rules we're about to dive into. And honestly, stating the noun first brilliantly illustrates why this rule even exists. Spanish adjectives, like colors, they act exactly like chameleons. They have to adapt and change their endings to perfectly match the grammatical gender of the noun they're hanging out with. If the noun is masculine, like el pantalón or el zapato, the color ending in O stays perfectly masculine. So you get el pantalón rojo for the red pants and el zapato negro for the black shoe. But if the noun is feminine, the color has to morph to match it. El rojo transforms into roja to match the feminine la falda. The skirt becomes la falda roja. The black jacket becomes la chaqueta negra. Listen really closely to that shift. The color negro literally changes its final vowel to an A, negra, simply because chaqueta demands a feminine companion. They're completely linked together. So let's see how this builds into a complete thought. I've got a foolproof 3-step process for building a fully descriptive Spanish sentence for you. Step 1, pick your subject and verb. Let's go with she wears, which is ella usa. Step 2, add your clothing item, but internally, make a mental note of its gender. Let's use a jacket, una chaqueta. We know chaqueta ends in A, so bingo, it's feminine. Step 3, add your color, but make sure you morph it to match. We want to say black. Now, the default dictionary word for black is negro, but since our little chameleon is sitting right next to the feminine chaqueta, negro absolutely must morph into negra. Put it all together? Ella usa una chaqueta negra. She wears a black jacket. It's beautiful, structured, and just grammatically flawless. Section 4, matching plurals and colors. Sumando las S's. So, our chameleon colors don't just change for gender, they also morph for quantity. We already established that a single masculine black shoe is el zapato negro, and a single feminine black jacket is la chaqueta negra. But what happens when we have more than one? Well, in Spanish, agreement is absolute. If your noun becomes plural and gets an S, literally every single word describing it must also get an S. So the black shoes becomes los zapatos negros. Notice how zapatos has an S, so negros must also carry an S. Over on the feminine side, the black jackets becomes las chaquetas negras. The whole shebang has to agree across the board. It's kind of like a perfectly balanced mathematical equation. But wait a second, you might be wondering, what if the color doesn't end in an O or an A by default? Take this sentence. Él usa una camiseta violeta. He wears a purple t-shirt. Some colors, like violeta for purple or verde for green, naturally end in an A or an E anyway. These colors are already flexible when it comes to singular gender. You don't need to overthink it and try to change verde into verdo or verda. No way. It just stays verde for both masculine and feminine nouns. However, if the clothing becomes plural, these flexible colors do still need that S we were just talking about. So a green shirt is una camisa verde, but plural green shirts are camisas verdes. Let's look at another example, this time using a different verb. Ella lleva un cinturón café. She wears a brown belt. Here we see the verb llevar in action as lleva. The item is un cinturón, which is masculine, and the color brown here is café. Now, our source gives us a really great bonus tip right here. Spanish is a massive global language, and vocabulary can definitely shift depending on where you are. While café is widely used for brown, another incredibly common word you're going to encounter is marrón. Both are absolutely correct, and knowing both, that's going to make you a super adaptable Spanish speaker as you travel the world. Section 5, Real-World Spanish Practice. Sal a practicar. You know, the absolute best way to cement these rules, the noun first order, the gender agreement, all those plurals, is to actually speak them out loud to another human being. The source material strongly encourages you to seek out local spots to practice. Go find flea markets or local malls where the employees speak Spanish. Walk right into a clothing store and try asking for una camisa verde or unos zapatos negros. Seriously, don't be intimidated. Native speakers are almost always absolutely delighted when you try to speak their language. And hey, if they reply a bit too quickly, just use this pro tip. Politely say, más despacio por favor, which just means slower, please. They will happily adjust their pace for you. I want to leave you with this highly encouraging thought directly from our source material. When you combine the clothing vocabulary, the colors, and these simple agreement rules, quote, you can say a lot in Spanish. It all starts clicking together. And honestly, it really does. By simply understanding that chameleon-like nature of adjectives, you've just exponentially multiplied your ability to have real, descriptive, engaging conversations. So, I'm going to challenge you to do exactly that, right this very second. Look at your own outfit right now. Look at your shirt, your pants, your shoes. Using the verbs usar or llevar, that noun first word order, and the chameleon color rules we just learned, how would you build a Spanish sentence to describe exactly what you are wearing? Really think about it.
Now you're ready to shop in Spanish like a native. Like, share, and subscribe for more fun Spanish lessons. Juá.